Yo, listen up. When you think of Jamaica, what comes to mind? Beaches, reggae, Usain Bolt sprinting. Now think about how many Jamaican stories you actually see on the big screen or hear on the airwaves. It's probably way less than you'd imagine. Get this. Despite Jamaica's vibrant culture and global impact, a recent study showed that less than 1% of characters in popular films and TV shows are Jamaican. Let that sink in for a minute. 1%. That's barely a blip on the radar. This isn't just about numbers, it's about representation. It's about how the world sees Jamaica, and more importantly, how Jamaicans see themselves reflected back in the media they consume. It's time to unpack this, fam. Let's talk about Jamaican representation in global media, or rather, the lack thereof. Media, whether we like it or not, is powerful. It shapes how we see the world, how we understand different cultures, and even how we see ourselves. When a whole nation is reduced to a handful of stereotypes, it creates a distorted and often harmful image. Think about it. How many times have you seen a Jamaican character in a movie who's just the comedic relief, spouting off patois for laughs, or the gangster involved in drugs and violence? These portrayals, often amplified for entertainment value, contribute to a very narrow and often negative perception of Jamaican people and culture. It's not just harmless fun, it has real-world consequences. It influences how Jamaicans are treated, the opportunities they are given, and even how they are perceived by law enforcement. And that's not cool. Jamaica is more than just a tourist destination. It's a country with a rich history, a diverse population, and a vibrant cultural landscape. We've got poets, artists, scientists, entrepreneurs, and so much more. But these stories often get lost in the shuffle. The media, for the most part, hasn't caught up with the reality of what Jamaica is all about. This isn't to say that every portrayal of Jamaica in the media is negative. There have been strides made, glimpses of authenticity shining through. But we need more. We need to see the full spectrum of Jamaican experiences reflected in the global media landscape. We need to move beyond the tourist brochures and the tired stereotypes and uncover the real Jamaica. Let's be real, the way Jamaica's shown in the media, it's often like looking through a cracked lens. It's blurry, distorted, and only shows a tiny fragment. We're boxed into predefined categories. You see the yardie gangster, the chilled-out Rastafarian, and the fast runner. These aspects exist, but they're just tiny threads. This single story is dangerous. It's time to tell the stories that reveal the depth of Jamaican life. Lost in translation, the nuances of culture and identity. Jamaica isn't a monolith. We're a melting pot of cultures, ethnicities, and experiences. Our history, from colonialism to independence, has shaped our identity. Our language, our music, our food, they all tell a story that often gets lost in translation. The complexities of our social dynamics can't be captured in a 2-hour film. We have rural communities living vastly different lives than those in urban areas. To paint Jamaica with a single brushstroke is to ignore the richness and complexity of our social fabric. Beyond the beaches and Bob Marley, a multifaceted reality ignored. Yes, Jamaica has stunning beaches, and yes, Bob Marley is a legend. But to reduce us to just these elements is to do a disservice to the multitude of talents, innovations, and contributions that Jamaica has given the world. Where are the stories about our brilliant scientists making groundbreaking discoveries? Where are the biopics about our literary giants who've graced the world with their words? Where are the documentaries showcasing the entrepreneurial spirit thriving in our communities? We've got athletes dominating in sports beyond track and field. We've got artists pushing boundaries in music, fashion, and visual arts. We've got a whole generation of young people challenging the status quo and creating their own narratives. It's time to expand the frame, to showcase the full spectrum of Jamaican excellence. It's time to move beyond the predictable and embrace the unexpected. The power of the pen, the influence of the screen shaping global perceptions. We can't underestimate the impact media has on shaping global perceptions. When the same limited images are constantly recycled, it creates a feedback loop. reinforcing stereotypes and limiting opportunities for authentic representation. It affects how Jamaican people are treated when they travel, the opportunities they are given in professional spheres, and even how they are perceived by law enforcement. It can lead to prejudice, discrimination, and a whole host of social injustices. The responsibility lies not just with those creating the content, but also with those consuming it. We need to be more critical of what we watch and listen to, questioning the narratives presented and demanding more from the media we engage with. It's time to break free from this cycle of misrepresentation and demand better. A call for more than diversity, authenticity as the goal. Diversity and inclusion have become buzzwords, but true representation goes beyond simply ticking boxes. It's about ensuring that the stories being told are authentic, nuanced, and reflective of the lived experiences of Jamaican people. We need more Jamaican voices behind the camera, in the writer's room, in positions of power within the media industry. We need to support our own storytellers, filmmakers, and artists who are creating content that reflects the true essence of Jamaica. This isn't just about complaining about the lack of representation. It's about actively creating the change we want to see. It's about reclaiming our narrative and sharing our stories on our own terms. It's about showing the world the real Jamaica in all its complexity and beauty. The shadow of the Yardie, unpacking a harmful trope. The Yardie, synonymous with Jamaican gangsters in the global imagination. Films like Marked for Death and Shotters recycle this stereotype, painting Jamaican men as inherently violent. This portrayal strips away socioeconomic complexities, reducing individuals to caricatures. It feeds into prejudices and reinforces negative perceptions globally. The danger of this trope is that it dehumanizes. This makes it easier to justify discrimination and violence, acknowledge systemic issues rather than perpetuating harmful stereotypes. One Love and Out Reggae's double-edged sword. Reggae music, with its infectious rhythms and messages of peace and unity, has put Jamaica on the world map. Bob Marley, a global icon, spread messages of love, resistance, and social justice. However, this has led to sonic stereotyping. Jamaica's musical landscape is vast, encompassing ska, dancehall, mento, and rocksteady. The global obsession with reggae has overshadowed these genres. It's time to celebrate the full spectrum of Jamaican music. Beyond the track, the untold athletic potential. Usain Bolt's lightning speed has made him a global phenomenon, solidifying Jamaica's reputation as a sprinting powerhouse. But this focus on track and field, while deservedly earned, often overshadows the wealth of athletic talent Jamaica possesses in other sporting arenas. Where are the stories about our footballers making strides in international leagues? Where are the documentaries about our netball team, consistently ranked among the world's best? Where is the recognition for our boxers, swimmers, and martial artists who are breaking barriers and defying expectations? This lack of representation reinforces the narrative that Jamaican athletic prowess begins and ends with sprinting. It limits opportunities for athletes in other disciplines and perpetuates a narrow view of Jamaican potential. It's time to expand the lens, to celebrate the unsung heroes of Jamaican sports, and to recognize the diverse talents that exist beyond the track. A seat at the table. Challenging Hollywood's narrative. Hollywood shapes perceptions of Jamaica. Jamaican representation is often stereotypical. Stories lack authenticity, filtered through a foreign lens. We need more Jamaican voices in the industry. Support and uplift Jamaican talent. Demand a seat at the table, rewrite the narrative. Small screen, big impact. The rise of Jamaican television. While Hollywood might still be lagging behind, Jamaican television has made significant strides in recent years, offering a more authentic and diverse reflection of Jamaican life. Shows like The Eyes, Ring Games, and She's Royal tackle a range of social issues, explore different facets of Jamaican culture, and showcase the talents of local actors and filmmakers. These shows, often independently produced and distributed, resonate deeply with Jamaican audiences, both at home and in the diaspora. They provide a platform for local stories to be told, for Jamaican voices to be heard, and for a more nuanced and complex image of Jamaica to be projected. The rise of streaming services has also created new opportunities for Jamaican content to reach a wider audience. This increased visibility is crucial in challenging stereotypes, fostering understanding, and promoting a more accurate and positive representation of Jamaica on the global stage. The internet, and social media in particular, has become a powerful tool for Jamaicans to connect with each other, share their experiences, and challenge dominant narratives. From YouTube to Instagram to TikTok, the digital diaspora is thriving, creating its own spaces for self-expression and representation. This online community is diverse, vibrant, and unapologetically Jamaican. It's a space where you can find everything from comedy skits and cooking tutorials to political commentary and social justice activism. It's a space where Jamaican culture is celebrated, debated, and reimagined for a digital generation. This online movement is not only challenging stereotypes, but also providing a platform for emerging artists, entrepreneurs, and activists to showcase their talents, connect with a global audience, and amplify their voices. The digital diaspora is a testament to the resilience, creativity, and global reach of Jamaican culture in the 21st century. The fight for authentic representation isn't just about demanding change from established media institutions, it's also about creating our own platforms and telling our own stories. The rise of independent media, fueled by the accessibility of technology and the power of social media, has empowered a new generation of Jamaican storytellers. From web series and short films to documentaries and feature films, independent media offers a space for greater creative control, allowing filmmakers to explore themes and perspectives that are often overlooked by mainstream media. These projects, often made with limited resources but overflowing with passion and authenticity, are challenging stereotypes, sparking conversations, and offering fresh perspectives on what it means to be Jamaican in the 21st century. By supporting these independent voices, by amplifying their work, and by becoming creators ourselves, we can reclaim our narrative and ensure that the stories being told about Jamaica are as diverse, dynamic, and nuanced as the island itself. Now let's talk about a film that felt like a breath of fresh air in a room full of stale stereotypes. Enter The Harder They Fall, a 2021 Western by Jamie Samuel, a love letter to the forgotten history of black cowboys, featuring Jonathan Majors, Idris Elba, Zazie Beetz, Regina King, and Lakeith Stanfield. Reclaiming a narrative, showing the world the true Wild West, not asking for a seat but saying, "We've always been here," a bold statement rejecting tired tropes. The Harder They Fall was a cultural moment, a sign of change. One of the most refreshing aspects of The Harder They Fall was its rejection of the white savior complex, a trope that often plagues films about black experiences. The heroes and villains were all black, their complexities explored with depth and nuance. It was about telling a story for and by the black community, allowing for authentic representation of black agency and resilience. Beyond the compelling storyline and stellar performances, The Harder They Fall was a visual feast, particularly when it came to the costumes. Designed by the brilliant Antoinette Messam, the film's wardrobe was a masterclass in storytelling through fashion. Each character's attire was meticulously crafted, reflecting their personalities, motivations, and even their emotional journeys throughout the film. From Nat Love's sharp suits and iconic belt buckle to Stagecoach Mary's elegant gowns and fierce gun holsters, every detail was intentional, adding another layer of depth and meaning to the narrative. The costumes paid homage to the history of black cowboys, often overlooked or erased from popular portrayals of the Wild West. They challenged the stereotypical image of cowboys as exclusively white and male, showcasing the diversity and style that existed within these historical communities. More than just clothes, the costumes in The Harder They Fall were a celebration of black identity, a visual testament to the power of representation. While The Harder They Fall is an American film, its impact resonated deeply with Jamaicans and the diaspora worldwide. The film's director, Jaime Samuel, drew heavily from his Jamaican heritage, infusing the film with subtle nods to Jamaican culture, music, and style. The film's soundtrack, for instance, featured a mix of classic reggae tracks and original compositions, blending seamlessly with the Western setting and creating a unique and engaging sonic landscape. The presence of reggae legend Barrington Levy performing in a pivotal saloon scene was a delightful surprise for Jamaican audiences, further bridging the gap between the American West and Jamaican cultural influences. This cross-cultural dialogue, this subtle weaving of Jamaican elements into a traditionally American genre, sparked conversations about the global reach of Black stories and the interconnectedness of Black experiences across continents. The Harder They Fall reminded us that Blackness is not a monolith. It's a vibrant tapestry woven with threads from all corners of the diaspora. A catalyst for conversation, continuing the dialogue. The Harder They Fall wasn't just a film, it was a cultural moment, a catalyst for important conversations about representation, history, and the power of storytelling. The film's success, both critically and commercially, demonstrated a hunger for diverse narratives, for stories that challenge the status quo and offer a more authentic reflection of the world we live in. The film sparked debates about the erasure of Black cowboys from history, leading to a renewed interest in researching and celebrating their contributions to the American West. It also highlighted the importance of having diverse voices behind the camera, empowering a new generation of filmmakers to tell their stories on their own terms. The Harder They Fall was a reminder that representation matters. It has the power to challenge perceptions, to inspire change, and to create a more inclusive and equitable world. The conversation doesn't end when the credits roll. It's just the beginning. So, we've unpacked a lot. We've talked about the stereotypes, the lack of diverse roles, the missed opportunities to show the multifaceted reality of Jamaica. But it's important to remember, this isn't just about entertainment. This is about how the world sees an entire nation, a culture, a people. When the same images are constantly recycled, it creates a very limited and often distorted understanding of who we are. It affects how Jamaican people are treated, the opportunities they are given, and even how they see themselves. This is about challenging a system that often benefits from perpetuating these narrow narratives. It's about demanding better, not just for ourselves, but for future generations. It's about understanding that media representation has real-world consequences, and we all have a role to play in shaping a more just and equitable media landscape. Think about it, fam. When a young Jamaican child grows up only seeing themselves reflected in a negative light, what does that do to their self-esteem? To their aspirations? Representation is about visibility, yes, but it's also about validation. It's about seeing yourself reflected in positions of power, in roles that inspire, in stories that celebrate the fullness of your humanity. When we allow for more diverse and authentic representations of Jamaica in the media, we create a world where young Jamaicans can dream bigger, aim higher, and see themselves as the heroes of their own stories. We create a world where the richness, the complexity, the beauty of Jamaican culture is celebrated and appreciated in all its forms. This conversation doesn't end here. It's not enough to just watch this video and nod your head in agreement. We need to take action. We need to challenge the status quo. We need to demand better from the media we consume. So, what can you do? Be critical of what you watch and listen to. Question the narratives being presented. Challenge stereotypes when you see them. Support Jamaican creators and artists. Seek out films, TV shows, music, and books by Jamaican talent. Amplify their voices on social media. Share your own stories. The digital age has given us all a platform. Use it to challenge narratives and showcase the real Jamaica. This isn't just about Jamaica. It's about all underrepresented communities fighting for their stories to be told with truth, respect, and authenticity. Let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep pushing for change. Let's create a world where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. So, there you have it, the untold story of Jamaican representation laid bare. But this isn't just about listening, it's about acting. It's about becoming a part of the change we want to see. How? It's simpler than you think. First off, hit that subscribe button and share this video. Let's get this conversation going, spread awareness, and build a community that demands better. Drop a comment below. Tell us about your experiences, the films you love, the stories you want to see. Next, let's amplify Jamaican voices. Seek out films, shows, books, art, anything created by Jamaican talent. Support them, share their work, and let them know their stories matter. Remember, change starts with each of us. Let's challenge the stereotypes, celebrate the richness of Jamaican culture, and create a world where every voice is heard and every story is given the platform it deserves.